Live going live. And we are live back here with the Charles in Charge Cowboys Sports Report. I thought we'd win this game. My prediction was 31-24. I thought our defense would allow 3 touchdowns and a field goal. Our defense allowed 2 field goals. Only touchdown the Eagles got was Dak's fumble returned by Jalen Carter. Other than that, we played lights out. We dominated their ass just like we did in Philly, except this time we're better. And this time we finished, we kept our foot on their throats. Even after the
How about that Cowboys?
Even after the Dak strip sack, Jalen Carter takes it back to the house. She thinking we give Eagles life. I'm thinking that Brandon Aubrey, what a weapon. It was a 60-yarder, 59-yarder, the 59-yarder, which was risky because you miss it. You only up by 11. You give them the ball at midfield. No doubt. The ball's in the air. No doubt. I mean, 33-13, 20-point win. Philadelphia is exposed. Attrition has set in to the highest degree. And next week, they go to Seattle, limping into the link against a wounded Seahawks team that has plenty of weaponry to attack that defense that is so porous that I will not be surprised if Philly goes into Seattle next week and loses a 3rd straight game. The blueprint is out on Philly. They're lucky it was just a 20-point game. Could have easily been a 30-point game. Man. Oh, talking about pumped. And Gilmore. Bland also, Deron Bland. How was he going to respond after getting shredded last week? Deron Bland responds beautifully today. Didn't allow any big plays. Was a sure tackler. And Gilmore pretty much shadowed A.J. Brown and shut him down. Defense allowed 6 points. That's it. And Philly's offense was healthy. Besides Hurts' knee, they had Dallas Goedert back, which they didn't have last week against San Fran. San Fran's defense allowed 19. We allowed 6. If Dak doesn't fumble that ball, this is a 33-6 game. Or possibly a 40-6 game. Dominant win. The number 1 seed is far from out of the picture right now, or at least the division. I'm going to say the division because San Fran could very, very well win out. Only game I see San Fran having a shot to lose is against Baltimore. And that's a maybe. Philadelphia goes to Seattle next week. They are limping. They are wounded, and the blueprint is out. Geno Smith should be healthy for next week's game. He's got DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, and JSN to throw to on that secondary with Noah Fant and Disley at tight end, Charbonnet and Kenneth Walker at running back. And Seattle's going to be fighting for a playoff spot next week. They're going to be fighting at Kalon, throwing the kitchen sink at Philly. That Seattle offense can put up 30, 40 points against the Eagles. That Seattle defense can hold that Philly offense to a certain minimum. What's up, Chris Collins? How about them Cowboys? Chris, you damn right. You damn right, man. Oh, I cannot wait to see the talking heads tomorrow. Shady McCoy's on top of my list. Whenever we lost week 9, he said Cowboys played the best game. Dak played his best game, and they still couldn't win. What did I tell you? That they can't beat us. That was the most ignorant statement I've ever seen on national television. I don't even know how Shady McCoy is even on a show being an analyst. Tomorrow, there ain't going to be no damn Eagle in that studio for the second straight week. I can tell you that. They probably put a big old star right next to Shady. I want to see what Richard Sherman and Keyshawn Johnson have to say about this tomorrow after they just, it was a foregone conclusion. Cowboys going to drop this one because, it's against a winning team. We ain't beat somebody with a winning record. Stephen A. Smith's going to say what he's going to say. But Chris Collinsworth even said tonight, the way this team is playing, offensive and defensive side of the ball and special teams, besides that fake punt that we gave up, has the potential to make it to Vegas. A high potential. If our defense was played at a high, our defense allowed 6 points. 2 field goals is all our defense allowed. Chris Gons, I'm loving this win too, my man. In week 9, we had 3 fumbles that we forced. We didn't recover any of them. Tonight, we forced 3 fumbles. We recovered all 3. Dak was lights out. Only mistake was that ball that he got knocked out. Matt Batten, welcome in. Great win. I'm so happy we won tonight. Let's enjoy this win. Tomorrow, get ready for the Bills. Love the channel, dude. I love your support, Mr. Matt. Guys, if y'all can share this content, that would be great. I'm at 365. That's 1 subscriber for every day of the year. 500 is my first goal. Then 1,000. I'm getting hoarse already. I was screaming and yelling through the whole game. 24-6 at halftime. I was ecstatic. When Dak fumbled it, Jalen Carter took it to the house, I started getting a little bit nervous. You don't want to give this team life, but this team's beat down and tired. They've been skimming by games, barely winning. That Kansas City win doesn't look too hot now because Casey lost again today. That Buffalo win, they had to go to overtime to win that. Mad bad. Me too. And thanks for everything you've done. Hey, man, this here don't exist without y'all guys, man. Y'all guys tuning in means everything to me. But this win right here changes everything for the last 4 games of the season. I believe we'll go to Buffalo, beat them, go to Miami. I believe we're going to run a table. We are playing lights out. Dak Prescott, the last 7 games, 22 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. He is balling out. Jake Ferguson is blooming into the tight end I knew he could be. Last year, I said he was Travis Kelce Jr. Even Travis Kelce last year was propping up Ferg. Dalton Schultz goes to Houston. I said, no problem. Ferguson's going to fill that role, and he's going to get better through the season. First 6 weeks, team's learning a new system, West Coast offense, playing it in real time. I knew it was going to take a little bit to catch on. Now Dak is really fully into this WCO offense, playing it at the highest level. Our defense that lit up 35 against Seattle comes out tonight against a team with just as much firepower, if not more, with a better offensive line, and allow us 6 points. If our defense can play like this at a consistent basis, like our offense can ball out, if they can play like this together, even San Fran can't stop us. And that'll be San Fran whooped us in week 5, 42-10. That was the week 5 Cowboys. This is the week 14 Cowboys. 9 weeks makes a hell of a lot of difference. Dak is MVP now. Haters got nothing to say. Cowboys rolling out. Great win. Mr. Batten, you are very correct. Going into this week, Dak was tied with Brock Purdy as the front runner for MVP. I believe Philly's defense is better than Seattle's. It's not saying much. I take that back. Seattle probably has a better defense. Philly has a lot of names on the defense. Big play Slade, James Bradbury, who is not that good of a cornerback. He's just not. Kevin Byard, who they acquired, in a trade, hasn't made much of a difference. Shaq Leonard played tonight. All these star names. Jordan Davis, Fletcher Cox, Josh Sweat, Hassan Reddick, all these big names on this Philly defense. But they're still not a good defense. They're just names. They're not a unit. Our defense plays as a unit. Last week, we surrendered 35. Yeah. We were on the 4th game of the 4 games in 17 days or whatever. But our defense in the 4th quarter last game against Seattle held those 3 4th downs. When Philly went to 4th on 4th down tonight, we stopped them on both tries. Our defense played tonight to the capability. That's elite. That's Dan Quinn calling a great game plan. Micah Parsons playing sick. He woke up sick with an illness. He wasn't 100%. DeRon Bland, I was worried that they're going to pick on him. But apparently, like great players do, he has a short memory. And DeRon Bland came out tonight. I didn't see him get burned one time. And anytime it was up to him to make a tackle, he made a sure tackle. DeRon Bland made plays tonight. Gilmore was balling out too. And the defense played as a unit. Besides Gilmore, like no one player stood out big time. Mr. Batten, you're right. Eagles got exposed tonight against us. Keep it rolling. Go Cowboys. Thank you for saying I'm the best, my man. I'll look up to Law Nation on this. He's one that got me into doing my own deal. But my plan is to become the best. It takes a long time to get there, though. If you're watching this episode, guys, with my hoarse voice and all, hit that red subscribe button. It's free. It costs you nothing. It's a free investment. Help me get to 500, then 1,000, then the show will skyrocket. I'll have a call-in line and all that when I do live shows like this. Whenever we actually have a big crowd, this will be a show y'all look forward to watching. Tomorrow, I'm going to break it down what happened tonight, how I could really talk. Man, I was yelling for 3.5 hours straight. What a win tonight, guys. Let's just check out a few stats real quick before we close out on this quick little post-game show. And it was getting a little chippy too, which I love. I love that because the Eagles are our number one nemesis, our number one arch rival. Our number one. Way above Washington, way above New York. The Giants and the Redskins have never been much of a rival, maybe the early 90s. But Philadelphia, the last 2 decades, have been our number one nemesis. And then out of division, you got San Fran, Green Bay. And then in the AFC, maybe you got Pittsburgh. Our defense held Philly to 324 yards. Only 6 points, though. 218 through the air. Only 106 on the ground. Our defense allowed. And they came in to this game wanting to run the football. Philly had 6.2 yards per play. 17 first downs. 4 of 9 on third. They were 1 of 2 on fourth, actually. So they did get 1 fourth down. They only allowed 1 sack. Both teams only punted 1 time. So in 8 quarters of football, we only punt 1 time. That shows you how efficient our offense is playing, which is lights out. 1 punt in 8 quarters. That is insane. Time of possession, 36-36 to their 23-24. That's dominating time of possession, dominating the football. Late in the fourth quarter, you saw the Eagles defenders breathing real heavy because they were done. Playing physical, we bullied the bully. And this wasn't the Giant team we were playing. This wasn't Carolina that we were playing. This wasn't the Rams early in the season that we were playing. This was the team with the best record in the NFL that we were playing tonight. And we dominated from kickoff to when there were 4 zeros on the clock. Dominated all throughout the game. All 3 phases of the game. Besides that fake punt, which I saw coming, I was yelling, watch for the fake. Very surprised Bones Fossil, as good as he is, in that situation, I wouldn't have even had Turpin back there. I'd had a defender and just play defense against that punt and just let him punt it and take over wherever the ball goes. Our offense, 394 yards, 256 in the air. We run the ball for 138. We're starting to run the football, and Philly's starting to allow the run. Ever since the Kansas City game, Philly's been allowing 130 plus per game on the ground. Well, before that, they were averaging 36. 24 first downs. Our third down efficiency, 9 of 16. When for 1 fourth down, we made it. We allowed 3 sacks. They got a lot of dollars up front. We had 7 penalties, 60 yards. Not great, but not horrible. Philly had 10 for 95. And in personal, Jalen had 197 yards through the air. For some reason, I don't know why they were running him on quarterback draws with a bum knee. Because he aggravated it when Marquise Bell hit him late. But on that play, Micah Parsons was being held. So to me, those penalties would offset anyway. Hurts had 5 carries, 30 yards. Swift, 11 for 39. Gainwell, 4 for 28. A.J. Brown, 9 for 94 through the air. Mr. Prescott, Mr. MVP, if he wins MVP, who's the last Cowboy to win MVP? Romo never did. I mean, in 07 he would have, but Tom Brady was, had Randy Moss that season throwing 50 touchdown passes, so he kind of was out of luck there. But Prescott, 24 out of 39, 271, 2 touchdowns. Pollard had 16 carries, 59 yards. Rico Dowdle, who was our physical back, 12 for 46. And then Turpin had that end around for 22 yards. Dak had 3 for 11. Would have been more if Beadash didn't have back-to-back penalties to make Brett Maher, Brandon Aubrey kicked that 59-yarder. And I ain't gonna lie, when we elected I thought we were gonna punt. When we elected to kick that 59-yard field goal up by 11 after that Dak fumble touchdown, I was like, man, if he don't make it and he gets his first miss, then Philly takes over at the 50. This game is turning. There was no doubt. Right when Aubrey kicked that ball, you knew it was going in. It wasn't like, oh, no, it was just down the middle, just like the first one, the 60-yarder, down the middle. This kid, never heard of him, played soccer. He was a USFL last season. He's a 28-year-old rookie. I know you know my history. I believe Emmitt Smith in 1993, if you remember. I know you know my history. I believe Emmitt Smith in 93. Oh, Emmitt, he won MVP of the Super Bowl 28. I know that. I don't know if he won. He might have won league MVP. But then Gilmore, as cornerback, leads with 9 tackles, had a ton of pass breakups. Parsons had the only sack that was early in the game. And then Turpin, had 1 kick return. Aubrey, 4 for 4. Gosh. And 1 punt. But real quick, let's see if anybody, the last Cowboy to win MVP. Last Dallas Cowboys player to win MVP.
According to AOL,
you're right, Mr. Matt
the
Baden.
Cowboys historian, the last player from the Cowboys to win the NFL MVP.
You're right, Mr. Matt. You are right. Emmitt Smith did win NFL MVP in 1993. He also won Super Bowl MVP that year. Because I remember that was the very first game I ever watched. Super Bowl 28 versus Buffalo in the Georgia Dome. So it's been, 93, 03, 13. So it's been 30 years since a Cowboys player has won MVP. If Dak Prescott does that, that is saying a lot. He's only in his 8th season. He could play another 7 years. No problem. Another 8 years. Quarterbacks are playing to 40 nowadays. I believe he's taking that next step. I believe he has. Before the season, been studying this team since January 96. Matt, me too, because my first game was Super Bowl 28, but, I was 6, you know what I mean? So in 94, I didn't really watch every game. I watched the championship game, of course. Then 95, I started watching the game. I don't think I missed one in 95. I missed the divisional round playoff game. Didn't miss that NFC championship game against Green Bay. Didn't miss the Super Bowl, of course. And then from 96 on, watched every game. As I started getting older and playing the game myself, understanding the game more. So I've got this Rolodex in my head that will trip y'all out. Ask me a question for a certain year, and I'll give you a certain specific on, it's just insane the information I've retained the last, 27 years. Unreal. But Dak has made this next step from being a good quarterback to a great quarterback. I'm going to say that and claim it right now. In week 9 against Philly, he drove us to the 6-yard line. He did his job because on that play, it was going to be a draw to Tony Pollard, and the way the defense was set up, Pollard would have walked right in. Tyler Smith got a false start penalty. If Tyler Smith don't do that, we take the lead right there with like 24 seconds left on the clock. And then after that, Josh Sweat just underbated to the quarterback because Terrence still didn't try to block him. And under 2 seconds, Dak gets sacked. So, Prescott didn't lose that game in week 9. It was just an unfortunate series of events. We outplayed them by over 100 yards. But we got our revenge today. And if we see Philly in January, whether it's here or in Philly, even if it's cold, rainy, don't matter. We know we are better than this team. We are better than the Eagles. Our offense can go up and down the field on that defense all day and all night, any day of the week, twice on Sunday. And this defense can play at this level. Ain't nobody can stop us. That's great. If Dak wins NFL MVP, first time in 30 years Dak is rolling. Yes, he is. I ain't seen Romo play this good, and Romo has some good years. I've never seen Romo play this good. I mean, Dak, this West Coast offense, Mike McCarthy, who since he's been head coach in 2020, nobody accepted him. The Metroplex, the fan base didn't accept him, and for him to cut Kellen Moore like he did and take over play calling and change the offensive scheme to a West Coast offense that he was running in Green Bay with Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers. And he was even on the San Francisco staff where they had Joe Montana. That's when he was really young. So Mike McCarthy's been around great quarterbacks his whole career. If anybody could up Dak Prescott's play, I guess it's this man right here because he's looking like a genius installing this new offense. CeeDee Lamb's eating. Brandon Cook's finally involved, and Jake Ferguson is starting to ball out on that third down play, that crucial third down play late in the second half. Ferguson makes the catch and gets 30 yards after the catch. The boy's going to become a monster. He is the next. I mean, we had a big-time tight end in the 70s or 80s. Then we had Jay Novacek and Jason Witten. He's going to be the fourth biggest tight end, just like CeeDee Lamb's going to be the fourth biggest number 88 that we've had. Drew Pearson, Michael Irvin, Des Bryant, CeeDee Lamb. Can I remember the guy's name from the 80s? But him, then Jay Novacek, Jason Witten, Jake Ferguson. Ferguson's going to be 3 times better than Schultz ever thought about being. And maybe as good as Witten as time goes on. I remember Jason Witten's rookie year in 2003 when he had Quincy Carter at quarterback. And he was still pretty good. Watching Jake Ferguson, he reminds me of Jason Witten, but better, more physical, and he even hurdled another guy today. That's the third defender that he has hurdled, and it's the second one this season. He did it once last year. He's like George Kittle in a way where he catches a football and then will take off for an extra 15 to 30 yards. Against Seattle, he makes a game-winning catch against Jamal Adams, and he's one of them guys that ain't afraid to talk and get in your face. And when he caught that ball against Jamal Adams to win the game, he was all in Adams' face, jaw-jacking, talking his mess. And this team has attitude and swag. And that's what we want. Jake Ferguson, CD Dak, Tyler Smith, our beasts. The future's bright. Yep. Future's bright, and the window is wide open, not just for this year, but for years to come. The Eagles' window, however, is this year, maybe next year. Kelsey's 38. Lane Johnson, almost 38. Key cogs in the offensive line. Fletcher Cox on his last leg. Salary cap is going to catch up to Philly. It just is. Jalen Hurts is not going to have that surrounding cast his whole career. I've got a feeling that Jalen Hurts is going to be like Carson Wentz was. Carson Wentz, okay, rookie season. 2017 was amazing. Super Bowl year, even though he was hurt at the end of the season. Nick Foles made it to the Super Bowl, but even if Wentz wouldn't have got hurt, I believe Philly would have made it to the Super Bowl and won it. Hurts didn't win his trip. I don't see Philly making it to the Super Bowl this year. I think it's either For the NFC, it's either going to be San Fran or Dallas that comes out of the NFC. I do not believe Philadelphia will this season. I do not. I believe they've been exposed. They have too many weaknesses. Every team has weaknesses. Niners have the least. Philly has a lot. And it's starting to be exposed more and more week by week. They got lucky against Kansas City. They got lucky against Buffalo. They got lucky against Washington twice. We just hope the Arizona game don't bite us in the ass. Next week, I might be in Buffalo for that game. We're going to be Seattle fans and Cowboy fans. Because if Philly drops at Seattle and we beat Buffalo, all we got to do is just handle the last 3 games, handle our business, which we can do. Great show. Enjoy it, man. Thanks. All praise support. Go to Cowboys. Hey, Matt, God bless you too, man. In the situation you're going through, I'm telling you, only way to overcome it is look up to your Father in heaven. Ain't no wall or no mountain too big for him to move that's in front of you. Put all your faith in him. If you don't know him, get to know him because he's your best friend. He's your Lord and Savior. I am a living testimony of that. Charles, I feel like we can go 14-3. It will be tough, but I feel like I do too. It's funny you say that, Chris, because before the season, I predicted we go 14-3. We start off 5-3, right? After the Eagles lost, we're 5-3. I'm like, I don't think we're gonna win 14 this season. We ain't lost since Philly in week 9. In every game since that loss in Philly, we've gotten better. And I believe we're better than Buffalo, better than Miami. I believe we're better than Detroit. I've got no doubt in my mind with that we are. And we play them at home. And Washington, of course. I believe we can run the table. Buffalo, Miami, Detroit, Washington. And all we need is Philly to drop 1. And I wouldn't be surprised if Arizona has a freak out game with Kyler Murray and company to upset them if Seattle doesn't. That would not surprise me at all because against inferior opponents, Philadelphia has not dominated them. They have played down to their level and just pulled out at the end. And Jalen Hurts keeps playing and running on this knee like he's doing, he could injure this knee even worse, which he almost did tonight. They were giving him quarterback draws, design QB draws. What are they thinking? If they have any chance to get to Vegas, they're gonna need Jalen Hurts healthy. And he ain't gonna be healthy running the damn football on design quarterback runs. We got 14-3, still hungry, keep working for it. You guys are the best guys. You're the best, Matt. You're the best, dog. Shit, man, I'm tired, man. I'm gonna hit y'all guys up tomorrow. I'm gonna watch the Talking Heads tomorrow, see what he got to say. Speak for Yourself comes on in the afternoon, which I wish it came on in the morning, but Undisputed comes on 8:30 Central Time, my time. Guys, if y'all are watching this, you ain't subscribed, hit that red subscribe button. I implore you, as my brothers and sisters that bleed blue and silver like I do. I guarantee you this will be a show that you will enjoy watching. Let me hit those accomplishments. Let me hit 500. Let me hit 1,000. Let me grow this channel and get equipment, studio equipment, sound bites, get a call in line, get a fan base big enough to where these live shows will have 50 to 100 people in them, and then more and more guys. And y'all will call in, be interactive. I guarantee y'all will love it. Hey, Chris, man, I appreciate the compliment. Go Cowboys, baby, like all night. Yep, 100. We dominated tonight. Dominated. And we're going to dominate next week, too. On the road. I don't care. On the road, here, Mars, it don't matter. All right, guys. Great win, DC for life. Have a great victory Monday. Have a great victory week. Because this was a hell of a win and a statement win of where we're going this season. All right, guys, I'm going to check y'all out tomorrow. Please subscribe, like, and share this content if y'all will, guys. I do appreciate it. Charles in Charge is out.